Hello, I've been lurking here for a while, trying to come to terms with infidelity in my life. Long story short, my wife and I have been married for 8 years, and we've been together a few years longer overall. We have 2 young kids. This year has been really tough. We've had our arguments, but nothing I ever thought would push my wife to cheat. Lately, I noticed she had become distant and stopped communicating much, so I decided to confront her one evening. At that time, she told me she was unhappy and no longer felt any spark. At first, I freaked out, blaming myself for being an inattentive husband. Honestly, that was an issue. But the next day, I caught a very strange message on her phone that was extremely affectionate. I took a closer look and then found out my wife had been messaging a man for a long time, exchanging lots of "I love us" and planning a future together. I was utterly destroyed. Following the advice from many threads here, I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I read as much as I could, contacted a couple of lawyers for advice, and now have one on retainer. I got my head straight and stayed calm. A couple of days ago, I calmly confronted my wife and asked if she was having an affair. After a few minutes, she admitted everything. Long story short, it had been going on for 6 months. She claimed it was the deepest emotional connection she had ever experienced. Complete nonsense, but whatever. To try to end it all, I gave her a list of boundaries: cut off contact, no more communication, etc. The thing I think was the final test of an honest attempt to reconcile was when she got extremely upset about cutting off contact, especially when I told her to do it in front of me. She even insisted on seeing him one last time for closure. I stood my ground and told her if he was so important, she should pack a bag and go live with him. She backed off, but not before calling me a controlling jerk. Anyway, she sent me a text this morning and showed it to me, but my instincts tell me she's going to try to communicate by some other means. Honestly, I think there's no hope, and at this point, I don't even want there to be. But I just want to be able to tell my kids in 20 years that I at least tried. We have marriage counseling tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's time to file before wasting any more time or grief. I'm cautious about moving too fast because of the kids, but is this the right path? Update 1. The past few weeks have simply sucked, but they've given me a lot of time for soul-searching and reflection. As an update from the previous thread, my wife and I did attend some counseling after the initial confrontation. This particular counselor has been very good at listening to both of us without assigning blame and helping us navigate our new reality. She also helped uncover some structural issues in our relationship. While that doesn't excuse my wife's behavior at all, it's helpful to know these things for future relationships and to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Also, as mentioned in the thread, my wife's initial reaction to my boundary about cutting off contact with the affair partner seemed calm. But I did catch some small messages between them before she completely deleted her chat log and phone history. After seeing that, I decided to file, and she was served a few days ago, in parallel. I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my wife because we are very close, and I needed to prioritize support for our kids over the relationship. I could see my wife wanted to sweep this under the rug. Needless to say, she was initially extremely upset. Her fantasy was shattered. But our therapist talked it through with her from my perspective, explaining why this had to happen. I think she's starting to realize the consequences of her actions, and to see that there are real things she's going to lose from now on. I'm just trying to process the new life ahead and the huge shift in my identity from husband and father to something else. Same with her. Since I filed, my wife was immediately shocked when I dropped that on her. And she's been very emotional these past few days. Honestly, I think she thought I'd never be able to walk away. I have kept her at arm's length, but I've seen a clear change in her. On a positive note, we have talked more, kept conversations civil, and focused on our shared priorities, mostly the children. I've made it very clear to her that she left a huge wound on me and that she has to do the heavy lifting to help repair it. Giving me space and time. If I ever can forgive, I'll say it again and again. Her actions are the most selfish and self-centered, worst thing someone could do to a person. But I haven't lost sight of the fact that we still need to raise our children. And that's my main focus as I figure out how to move toward my own happiness. I want to thank everyone for the previous comments and insight. Honestly, I'm proud that I found the strength not to drown in self-pity, anger, or sadness, and that I was able to make the right moves to keep my dignity and look forward to a brighter future. I don't fully know all the next steps yet, and my feelings are constantly changing, but I'm starting to feel some inner peace. Thank you all again. A small update. I'm in the post-serving phase now, and working closely with my lawyer. What I'm looking for is if anyone here took advantage of the affair fog to get better divorce terms and how you managed to do that. My soon-to-be ex-wife is clearly still deep in the fog, still seeing and contacting the affair partner, which at the moment I haven't bothered her about since it seemed like a good distraction. What kinds of agreements did people get that were unexpected? Any advice on how to get through this phase and keep the other person off balance would also be helpful. Beyond Grey Rock and the 180 technique, I've been going out a lot more, unpredictably. Without giving details about what I'm up to. Any other advice on grey rocking during divorce proceedings? Hi everyone. I've posted a few threads about my ongoing situation. But here's the abridged version. His wife cheated. He caught her. She gave him the I love you but not in love line, and claimed the affair partner was the greatest emotional connection ever. It was all BS and trickle truth, gaslighting, everything as expected. I then dropped papers on her, and well, here we are a few weeks later. Long story short, I'm now in the post-serving phase and having to cohabitate for now, since I want to spend as much time with my children as possible. I'm in a separate room too, so that's helped me start to get some distance. I've implemented grey rock with my soon-to-be ex-wife, generally trying not to show interest in any discussion. But I have to fake it a little, especially with the kids around. They're still small, but can sense a lot. I'm also not making myself available in the evenings, going out with friends, working out, whatever. Any other advice on how to best handle this situation? It's a delicate balance. I want as much bonding time with my kids as possible and have swallowed my pride for family dinners and such. Any do's and don'ts? Update 2. I've made a few posts before for those who don't know the story. Simply put, wife cheated, greatest emotional attachment ever, love you but not in love, etc. I threw down papers, and now I'm just over 1.5 months after D-Day, working hard to move on. The purpose of this post isn't an update, really. The process is ongoing, and I'll share updates at the right time, which will likely be a while. My only request is for anyone who's been through this to please share good advice. Lessons learned, things you'd do differently, or things that are good to know. The advice in previous posts has been super helpful, and those who've reached out in other ways have been incredible. Just reaching out in case there's more that can help. Update, she cheated, but I'm made to feel like the a-hole. Hey everyone. My story can be found in my post history, but long story short, wife cheated, found her greatest emotional turd ever. I threw down papers, and the train is riding to downtown. I just wanted to get some stories on how folks dealt with in-laws, self-friends, etc., making you out to be the bad guy. I did get a jump after filing and told some of the in-laws, my family, and some friends, but I didn't broadcast why, because I want to keep some things private. That said, I know my soon-to-bex likely told her side. And while I'm getting some cold vibes from a lot of her family and others, I know blood is thicker than water. But it still sucks when close family turns their back. Despite me being a good dad and husband, and my wife being an immoral turd, did people's opinions change later on? Did you just stop caring and move on? Update 3. Hi everyone. As of today, some closure is coming my way in my saga that started over the summer. I've been posting and getting advice from everyone here. I just want to start by thanking this community for the incredible support and guidance, especially those who privately messaged and offered wisdom along the way. This is a crappy process to go through, especially when close family is far away. It sucks to be alone with your thoughts, but there is some wisdom and introspection to gain. During this time, for those who need a recap, one of the many threads is below, but the TLDR is, My wife cheated and tried to hide it. I found out, realized. There was no hope, since she was deep in the fog with the affair partner, and immediately filed against her. The past few months have been frosty, but relatively drama-free. My soon-to-bex and I separated our lives within the house, but still did things for our children. The discovery and mediation process moved fairly quickly. We agreed on a 50-50 custody split for our kids, including schedules and holidays. Since it's a no-fault state, asset division was pretty straightforward, with some give and take. I won't go into too many details right now, maybe in another post later, but I will be finding a place soon for a fresh start. The final conclusion is on the horizon, but for the most part, the divorce is complete. As for advice from this whole fiasco, I learned a few things. 1. Don't bother with the pick-me dance. I tried for a week before realizing her cheating was real. My soon-to-be ex is still in the fog, but that's her decision, and she has to live with it. 2. Lawyer up with an experienced family law attorney who is reasonable. I can't say enough about the person who took care of me, understanding what I wanted versus reality that was important to reach a settlement. I avoided crazy fees by doing much of the prep myself and cutting down on endless back. This allowed the process to settle quickly. 3. Lean on friends and family for support as much as possible. 4. Working out and exercise are key to maintaining mental health. I hit the weights a month after D-Day, and am starting to feel the benefits. That confidence helped me get to the finish line. 5. Get into individual counseling and talk with someone. This has helped me tremendously. 6. I realized from all the posts I read that the cheater's decisions are all on them. I heard it all from my soon-to-be ex. I was a roommate. I love you, but not in love. Our marriage went wrong. I worked too much, blah blah. Truth is, our marriage started falling apart after she let someone else into her life. Someone feeding her lines to stroke her ego and give her extra attention. She had to put up walls and make me the bad guy to justify it in her mind. Sure, she may have been stressed by the kids, day-to-day life, and a long marriage, but not communicating with her husband and confiding in a two-time divorce cheater with no moral compass is all on her, a recipe for disaster. The exciting final chapter of Cap and Sackett Freeman, H 5-year plan versus AP, is yet to be written, but poor choices carry consequences. That's all I'll say on the matter. Again, thank you to everyone. I still have a lot of work ahead, but also many adventures in this new chapter of my life. I hope I can return the favor to anyone who needs it. Please reach out if you need a helping hand. I'm here. Update. Has your ex pushed to still be in your life after divorce? I have a question for the group. My post history details the greatest emotional connection, love story ever, huh? I'm not far from moving into my own place. Since I have a couple of kids with my soon-to-be ex and for legal reasons, I've stayed in our marital house during this process. I've posted a couple of other threads about the ongoing saga. Thankfully, the light is at the end of the tunnel for me soon. Obviously, I have to co-parent with my cheating ex, and will be friendly for that, but I've been firm in saying she killed our marriage, and, by default, any friendship. I have no room in my life for a lying cheater. She's been insistent on wanting to be there for me, promising to help decorate my new house and keep holiday traditions for the kids. Again, I've remained firm in saying she torpedoed our relationship and wanted to replace me. So I'm simply giving her that wish. I've even gone as far as saying she won't be a welcome guest in my house. Has anyone experienced this? Where the ex wants to hang around? I guess it's some sort of optics thing. If we're friends, the split can't be that bad. So far, the affair partner hasn't shown his face, and she tries to hide it. But I know it's only a matter of time before their greatest emotional connection goes live. I have no desire to ever be in the same room as them anyway, but I'll stay outside the blast radius with popcorn when that whole thing blows up. Thanks, as always, to this amazing group for the support. Update 4. As of today, the official divorce decree has been issued, and I am officially moving on. I've also picked up the keys to my new house, so the moving process will begin as soon as possible. I chose to take a buyout because I felt it was best to start fresh in a place of my own to create new memories. I got really lucky finding a well-kept house just a minute away from my current home. It has a huge fenced backyard, a wood fire pit, a big garage, and a prime location. Plus, it backs up to a nature preserve. As an avid outdoorsman and hiker, I have my own little slice of paradise. Some might ask why so close to my old home, but I want to be near my kids because they need to know their dad is close when they need me. Thanks to the advice from this community, I kept my focus on what was important, started a workout program, and dived headfirst into a new career opportunity that has already paid huge dividends. I haven't bothered with dating or seeking a new partner and will likely enjoy being single for a while. My 2 little kids are my priority, and I plan to focus fully on them and my own personal growth for the foreseeable future. As for my ex and the affair partner, I've honestly started to let go of that disaster. Whatever happens will happen, and it's no longer my concern. Someone eloquently said before that, when someone gets with a person who cheated on their spouse, they're getting someone who cheated on their spouse. I did my best as a husband and father, and now it's time for someone else to appreciate that. Thank you all for the messages, advice, well wishes, and support. My life has depended on this community so much these past months, especially when I didn't have many close people nearby to lean on. For those just starting this awful journey, please keep putting one foot in front of the other and survive every day. I'm no expert in life, but I'm willing to lend an ear to anyone who needs it. Good luck, y'all. Update: I'll have a life update coming soon, as some pretty major things, mostly good, have been happening since my official divorce. That said, in my newfound free time, I've looked back and seen the life I'd planned evaporate, and I wonder how it all unraveled so quickly. I'm sure everyone has spent time pondering the who, what, why. Looking back, we had a great life. Ahead, careers doing well after some initial heavy lifting to establish ourselves. A home, and to beautiful children who are now out of diapers. College funds were being built alongside many other positive things. Thinking about all this is the last hurdle I need to overcome. But I really can't understand the mindset of someone who has so much going for her yet decided to nuke it all and go all-in with an unreliable serial cheater. Need I mention once more to this group? I know I'll struggle to heal for a while, but when I look at our history and life together, I just can't fathom how a person can be so selfish and foolish. I get that desire can't be negotiated and all that, but damn, the whole point of marriage is to work together as a team, and to continuously fall back in love with each other. Thanks again to this great group for all the insights. I probably sound like a broken record, but these forums have been a great place to vent this stuff. Update 5. Hello all. I wanted to give a quick update, especially to those who just went through their DA day and are worried about what life might look like. I'm 6 weeks post-ICRI and moved into my new place a month ago. I've been working like crazy to turn it into my sanctuary. It's finally well furnished and truly feels like home, my home. My kids have been over many times now, and the rotation is working well. I've read a lot that kids are resilient, but until you see it for yourself, it's worrisome. I'm happy to say they're handling things pretty well, and we have fun at Dad's house. They've told me many times they love being here. For me, it's initially been strange having this newfound freedom. But I found making to-do lists with daily, weekly, and long-term goals really helps. I was sad at first, but keeping busy keeps those feelings away. Right now, I'm focused entirely on self-improvement. I've thought about getting back out there romantically, but honestly, I have no interest. So I'm keeping my attention on home improvement, fitness, and my kids. Someone commented on one of my posts that leaving the house felt like being underwater and finally coming up for air, and they were right. As for my cheating ex, I keep things cordial, but nothing more. There's no sign of the greatest emotional connection with the affair partner anymore. Yet, WTF, who cares? Tonight, I just sat outside, had a few beers and a cigar, and enjoyed the peace and quiet of my property. Getting the heck away from the situation my ex put me in felt like the right thing to do. To those at the beginning and doubting leaving, I get it's the toughest thing. Heartbreaking, and a real kick in the gut. But making the choice to eject a cheater was the only right decision, and I truly feel with time it will get better. Cheers, everyone. Update. Hi all, another update from a C496. Once again, thank you all for your wonderful comments and support. It's now month 2 of being on my own. My house is coming together nicely. My kids are doing very well, making memories, and I have some fun trips planned soon. Following the usual advice, I've stepped up my weight training and pushed it into the next gear. I also upgraded my home gym with better equipment and have been hitting the heavy bag regularly. It must be working because in my monthly therapy session, my counselor noticed I'm putting on weight in the right places and said she's really impressed with the progress I'm making mentally and physically. That little affirmation means things are heading in the right direction. I haven't bothered dating or looking for anyone at this point. It's still early, and I'm just enjoying free time, new projects, and time with friends. To the point of this post, I'm sure everyone keeps wondering, has crappy luck hit crappy people? Well, I don't have a dramatic post about the downfall of the affair partner or the ex yet. Oddly, the greatest romance ever hasn't been revealed at all, and the affair partner remains a secret. I wanted to ask, why could this be this? My ex just managing her image and waiting for a better time to reveal everything. But isn't the thrill of the affair dead now that they can't sneak around anymore and I'm no longer around? I just find it odd. I have a feeling they're still communicating because she makes it obvious by hiding her phone whenever I'm around during kids' activities. But why? It's like, you wanted this, you snuck around and claimed it was the most amazing thing ever. Why not flaunt it now that the horrible ex's bond is gone? Has this happened to anyone else with their ex and the affair partner? Update 5. Hi all, I'm almost at the 6-month mark past the divorce decree. And nearing a year since D-Day. It's been cathartic to post here, and I know many folks have followed my journey, commented, messaged, and given hope. Like many others, I've shared along the way to give new folks some ray of light, that despite the darkness you've stepped into, there is another side. I hope to continue helping in any small way I can to anyone in need. I've greatly appreciated the support I've received and would love to return the favor. On that note, 6 months have passed since D-Day, and there's a lot of positive news. My house is furnished and truly feels like home. My kids are comfortable in the routine, love coming over, and have even made some neighborhood friends. I am beyond thankful the little ones have handled this process so well. They just understand. There's dad time and mom time, and outside of being here, there have been no complaints or tears. I've thrown myself into a ton of home improvements. The house I moved into was previously occupied by an older divorced gentleman, and some things were left behind or neglected, but I see it as an opportunity to make the place my own. Along with that, I furnished a home gym with everything I need and can say I'm getting my workouts and boxing in 4 times a week. Getting my body back to where it needs to be after this whole ordeal. I also went through a major career change. Internally, moving to a new role where I work, somehow, I managed not to mess anything up. In fact, I've gotten kudos. I've kept my situation private, earned a raise, and received plenty of exposure to help my career trajectory move upward. Yes, I still struggle daily with mental health and focus, but I manage it with therapy and workouts, and things are getting better. I think less and less of my ex each day, and every small step forward is a relief. As for her, well, she's still living in La La Land. I can only say we co-parent decently well. I grey rock the heck out of her. We're friends only to the extent necessary for the kids, and it's been cordial. I'm sure anyone following my story has wondered about the affair partner saga. All I can say is it's far from a great love story. Although he hasn't gone public yet, my kids recently told me he's been showing up in a small way. I have to laugh a little. It's now 6 months past D-Day, and they're still sneaking around. Classic hallmarks of a long-lasting trusting relationship, guaranteed to stand the test of time. I've come to terms with whatever will happen, will happen. At this point, I consider myself lucky to be away from someone willing to lie to their most trusted partner's face without a shred of remorse. I have a solid chance to build an even better life than before. Good riddance, and good luck. That's all for now. And yet another big thanks to everyone who follows, comments, or sends rays of hope. I'll keep updating and supporting as always. Update. Hey y'all, wanted to share some thoughts from a good conversation I had with a buddy last night over a few beers. It's amazing how sometimes the world's problems can be solved on a Friday night. For context, my buddy also got divorced 7 years ago. And his situation is eerily similar to mine even. Our exes share the same birthday, which I mentioned in previous posts. The grand reveal of the affair partner and my ex is slowly taking shape. I'm low contact with my ex, but my kids make comments that are hard not to get annoyed by, whatever. My buddy noticed my frustration and said something. That helped a lot. Dude, think about their lives. 2 cheaters getting together. Think about what a crappy, low-value jerk he is for manipulating a married woman with kids. Now, look at it this way, they have to make it work no matter how bad it gets. You or I can meet someone and move on if it's not good, no problem. No worry, they're stuck. He has to be in your old house, knowing you built it, deal with your kids, and inherit your selfish ex and in-law. But they're stuck, or else they look stupid. Can you imagine that kind of hell? But you are free. I stewed on that, and this morning it really helped me realize what a horrible future that must be to face. Just wanted to share that thought and ask if others have come to this conclusion or seen it in action. Thanks, awesome people, as always. Update. The affair partner is invited to my kid's birthday. Hi all, AC 496, here with a smile, and a big thanks to this lovely group. I have something to get off my chest. For those who remember my saga, I've been progressing well, and have some big updates coming soon. I like to share positive things in my journey to help others, but for now, I need advice. Background. My daughter's birthday is this weekend. I already celebrated last weekend with my family with a small gathering, nothing crazy. My daughter loved her presents and cake. Well, my ex is throwing her usual look how awesome I am party this weekend. I got an invite, but I just found out the other day that good old affair partner BAP is confirmed to be there. I called out my ex, saying this was a pretty crappy move, but she didn't reply. Even worse, my ex's co-workers and family friends, who know about the affair, will be there, and the party is at my old house in me territory. It's just horrible, overall. It's my daughter's party after we divorced, and I can't help but feel it's a setup. This is low and manipulative. After talking with some supportive members here, this feels like walking into a pit of vipers. The only thing I can think of is going, dressed well with a fresh haircut, showing off my new physique. Hey, I've been doing the work and staying strong. But either way, I just don't like this. I feel it's super manipulative of my ex. She knows exactly what she's doing, and wants me to do something petty. Any advice is appreciated. Asterisk, wow. The responses have been awesome, you guys are amazing. I'll try to respond to everyone once my day calms down. Update 8. Hey everyone, I want to thank you for the massive amount of support on my post from earlier this week. Since the beginning of this saga, this community has been my lifeboat and savior, offering advice to get me through all this. Thank you all, it truly means the world to me. As for the juicy update, this is a good one. I initially told my ex I'd be joining, but I didn't tell her. I changed my mind and waited until Saturday morning to stop by the house to drop off my daughter's card and present. Unbeknownst to me, the kids had been dropped off at Grandma's and Grandpa's for the morning. As I pulled up the driveway in my sports car, I noticed none other than the affair partner's beat-up car parked on the side of the road. I quietly strolled into the backyard with a smile, surprising both my ex and the affair partner as they were putting up decorations. The look of pure terror on both their faces was priceless, I swear. The affair partner didn't look me in the eye once, just mumbled an awkward, "Oh hey man." Honestly, when I looked at them, I didn't feel anger, just a sense of how sad they both were. Good luck together, I thought. Keeping my composure, I said I was there to give my daughter her present, but wouldn't be joining the party. My ex was shocked, and, in the nicest voice I've ever heard from her, practically pleaded for me to come. I thanked her, but declined, saying I'd give my daughter her gift at her parents' place and then parted ways. Before I left, I gave a casual "Hey, see you later, bro" to the affair partner. Head held high. Not more than 3 minutes later, my ex called again, pleading for me to come to the party, but I held firm and politely refused. A few minutes later, I dropped off the gift, went inside the ex-in-law's home for a few minutes, played with my kids, and said my goodbyes. Are very kind, and without mentioning the situation. For the rest of the day, I kept busy tending to my house. I got a good workout in, much needed after a break, and went out on a date. It was kind of a bust, but she was nice, and at least it served as a distraction. My daughter called today to thank me for her gift, but didn't ask why I wasn't there. Like everyone said, she was so busy having fun she didn't pay attention. So, there it is. I know if I had shown up, I would have set myself back a lot for nothing. She had told everyone I'd be there, and with me and no-show, and the affair partner there. I'm sure people put 2 and 2 together. Now, I can go about my weekend without feeling mentally exhausted, and enjoy doing some fun things. Update. Hey, everyone, this will be a short but rather humorous update, following my previous posts. The outreach from this community was incredible. Thank you all for your advice. I'm still smiling from the silly move I pulled last week. I've had a really good week since then. Here's your Friday humor. For context, those who followed my saga may remember my in-laws dropped me like a hot potato. I get it, blood is thicker than water. However, one member of the extended family reached out, and we regularly hang out now. He's truly a man of character. Well, I got a text on Saturday during the party. Hey man, let's grab some beers this week. Your presence is missed here. Fast forward to the other day, we met up, started drinking, and got down to business. He first talked about the awkward party scene, the shisha setup, people clearly looking at their feet because of the situation. Apparently, the affair partner was not introduced to anyone. My ex kept her distance, deliberately apart from him, mostly directing him on what to do. The in-laws didn't bother to talk to him, sitting by themselves looking annoyed. He clearly was a fish out of water, spending most of the party inside, and avoiding most people. There was also a quiet comment from some of the in-laws on the uncle's side, saying this was pretty classless. I swear, I'm heading toward indifference, but I just laughed my butt off. My absence was well understood, and my earlier gift giving to my daughter was also known. So it seems like the family fully understood my absence. Mission accomplished. Anyway, that's my Friday humor. For those new to their own bad situation, I cannot stress enough the importance of taking the high road, acting with dignity and class, and focusing on living your best life. It's not always the most satisfying path, but like weight training, the results take time and they're worth it.